podcast dedicated to sharing the powerful, inspiring, and often emotional stories of families and healthcare professionals navigating the world of premature birth.
Whether you're a parent, a healthcare worker, or just someone looking to understand the journey, we're here to offer support and insight, one episode at a time.
So tune in as we dive into real experiences and explore the strength of the neonatal community. We're your hosts, Kirsty, Dimity and Meg. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to the Premi Pod. This week on the podcast we have Mick Donato. You may remember Micah and Casey from last week. He's Micah's dad. Micah was born at 28 weeks, so Mick's going to just tell us his perspective on Micah's journey.
Yeah.
All right.
Straight into it.
Hello. So let's get into it, hey? So let's start from the fertility journey. So Casey said that she told you pretty much straight away when you guys started dating, it's not going to be smooth sailing for her.
Yeah, but I was young and ignorant. And I was like, yeah, we'll work that out
It'll
when we
be
get
fine.
there. And to be fair, we did work it out when we got there, but it was
Yeah.
a few more bumps in the road than expected. But from my side, it wasn't too hectic, really. Like
Yeah.
the IVF stuff, you're like, yeah, the bloke doesn't have too much to do. And then we were doing it in COVID times, so I couldn't
Yeah, you
do
can
almost
go in
anything.
there
I couldn't
and
go to
see
any
it.
of the appointments.
How did that feel?
It was very strange. I've made jokes to all my friends. Like, oh, I sit in my car and wait for my wife to get pregnant. But it was what it was. Yeah, everyone has
Yeah.
different difficulties from that time. So that was all right. It was just felt a little bit impersonal, but
Yeah.
just had to get on
Yep.
with it if we wanted to start a
Yep.
family. And that
Yeah.
was the time in life we hit where we could afford it,
Yep.
which was a big
Massive.
part of it.
Yeah.
Big cost, but we got on with it. And we're
Yep.
here now. So we did I think we had, I don't know what detail Casey went into. We had first implant didn't take, second implant was a loss,
Yeah.
third implant was Micah,
Was Micah. Yep.
which was also not a
Yep.
smooth story.
Yeah. Yeah. And what
Um,
was it like for you to have that loss at that second time? You know, go in and find out they were twins, and then in the same time find out that neither of them made it.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, obviously. It was, I don't know, I think because we were doing IVF, everything was already so hard. So it was just like another letdown, and
Yep.
like it was pretty crushing, really. It wasn't, I'm not playing it
Yeah.
down, but it was just
Yeah.
hard trying to support my wife and then
Yeah.
deal with it myself and then get back to work, and then bills for more IVF kept turning up, and then it just
Yeah.
everything gets real bittersweet.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, really. It just is what it is. I don't know what you can
Yeah.
say or do about it.
Did
Can't
you
change it.
Did you start the process feeling quite hopeful? Like, did you think, oh, we'll go through this and first or second time we'll get there, or were you quite realistic about
like
it?
I was pretty
Yeah.
idiotic. I was like, we're going to do this once. We're going to have a baby. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah.
oh, we have this issue, and then that happens, and then like it all got really very real very quickly. So it's
Yeah.
just one of those things. You just kind of keep on going. All you can do is just focus on the next step.
Yep.
You've got to process things like you have to try to, but
Yeah.
and then just on to the next step. And
And were you always
Yeah.
keen to just keep trying, or did you ever have a think, oh, like maybe we should take a break, or was it for
No, I
you just
always-
always okay? What's next?
yeah, I didn't want to rush to what's next. I always said to Casey it was her call,
Yeah.
her body. She was the one, like I emotionally was going through it too, but
Yeah.
I said like we can, as long as we can always afford the next step, which is you can't change that, numbers sort of can't fake it, but
Yeah.
as long as we could afford it, which we were fortunate enough to be able to. So I sort of
Yep.
just kept saying to her, oh, if you want to have a break, we'll have a break. If you want to keep going,
Yep.
we'll keep going. There's nothing.
that's good. That's really supportive.
Yeah, there's not
Yeah.
much. I didn't think there was much more I could do. I
Yep.
just let her know she was loved through all the steps and
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
there, and that was it.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
You sort of feel. It sounds like a almost empty answer, but that's how it feels the whole time for
Yeah.
me anyway. I was a bit
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a bit helpless. Can
Yeah.
only do so much.
Yeah.
So it's really hard on
Yeah. Absolutely.
the mum to be, I guess. You'd say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because it's not necessarily happening to you physically, but you've got to be there emotionally, financially.
it's,
Really all kind of like that background support for them. Hey.
Yeah, and watching her go through it was tough. can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's a problem you can't fix. So you're just like, yeah, let's.
Yep. And
Cool.
you can be there in other ways, like getting her coffee in the morning, helping her, make her dinner, all those other things that are just really helpful along the way too.
100%, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not at all as difficult as what it would be for
Yeah.
the mum or what it was for Casey, but it's a bit empty. You just kind of
Yeah.
avoid, poke along. But then we fell pregnant, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was
So
really exciting.
talk to me about finding out Casey was pregnant with Micah.
It was obviously super exciting. And we agreed we weren't going to find out the sex. I think Casey
Yeah.
kind of wanted to, but I sort of wanted to keep it in. And then she
Yeah.
let me have that. So she said, no, it's all cool. We'll find out when it's here.
Yep,
At that
yep.
point. It sounds weird, but yeah. And then we went for,
Was it
What are
the
they- the-
morphology scan,
yeah.
like the big scan at 20 weeks?
yeah, that one.
Yep.
And they identified a small hole in his heart or something.
Yep.
I'm a mechanic, so there's not going to be any medical terms here. But and then we got referred up to MFM.
Yeah.
So we came for that, was the first time ever
Yeah.
coming here.
Yeah.
And we thought nothing of it. And, oh, yeah, there's a little hole in his heart, but usually this comes good. And
Yeah. So you weren't stressed at all?
nah, I didn't know. And if I knew then what I knew now, I would have been stressed.
Yeah.
But not that was related to him being born prematurely or anything, but
Mm.
just we learnt a lot in hospital. But back then
Yeah.
I was just ignorant, same as starting IVF, just like, okay, well, that's it. Well, let's just get on with it. And then we just hopped in the car and went home. And
Yep.
sure enough, ended up back here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the rest of the pregnancy wasn't. Actually, I was going to say it wasn't too bad, but it probably wasn't too good
yeah.
because we just didn't know. We don't know anything. We didn't know anything about like blood pressure or anything. Casey started having headaches and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, you're pregnant? I don't know. Just probably your body's doing heaps."
Yeah. You're like, there's a lot going
Pretty
on
normal.
right
Have
now.
a freaking nap,
yeah.
man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
Take
know.
a cup of Panadol.
Yeah, it makes me sound like a dick now,
Yeah.
but I didn't
You're
know.
like, how much water have you drunk
didn't
today?
know, like,
Yeah, that's the standard because she's the typical wife. So you haven't drank any water. But yeah, and then headaches, and my memory's pretty scratchy on this part
Yeah.
because we were busy. We're trying to. I'm self-employed, so trying to run a business, and then that was a mess at the time. Well, not a
Yeah.
mess. It was just busy, like
Yeah.
every small business afterwards. But
Yeah.
it's just
and
relentless.
these
Yeah.
booms, and you're just
Yeah,
constantly
you're just
on the go.
flat out. When the phone rings, you have to go. I think at one point
Yep.
we had like 3 employees, and I think I was averaging 60-something phone calls a day.
wow.
Someone asked me about it, so I
crazy.
counted them for a week to prove a point. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think I was averaging
Yeah.
60 phone calls a day while I was
Yeah.
on the tools.
Yeah.
It was relentless.
And
So then,
supporting
Yeah.
Casey.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
trying to be a good husband. And then she was still in the office at this point too.
Yep.
So she's got full baby brain, probably tired as anything. And I had no idea. I'm just like, just do your job.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, we're running a
Drink
business
some
here.
water. Take some Panadol.
Yeah, that was, again, it makes you sound like a dick now, but you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to get on with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think she started not feeling up to it some days. So we wound back her responsibilities in the office from memory.
Yep.
Pretty sure. And then her mum, Pam, was my
Yeah.
mother-in-law, she's a gem, but she was like, oh, you go to the doctor, get checked out. And we went, and Casey's blood pressure was a bit high.
Mm.
But and the GP sort of didn't say much. She's, oh, your blood pressure's a bit high. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, maybe that's part of pregnancy. No idea. Went
Yeah.
home, got on with it, and then she spoke to her mum, and her mum's like, oh, that's like really, really high. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her obstetrician, I think Casey ended up calling just for like a phone consult because they were 2 hours from us because we live rurally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and said, oh, my blood pressure's a bit high in this. And then that obstetrician at that time, maybe they weren't super high yet. She didn't say too much. It was all right. We'll just keep getting checked. So
Yep.
got checked. And then we went in for, I don't know.
Was it the results of the morphology scan
No, it was
appointment?
It was even after that. I think it might have just been like a monthly or two, because IVF's treated as a high-risk pregnancy the whole time anyway. So I think we
Yeah.
had more regular checkups.
Yep.
So it might have just been at another checkup.
Yep.
And obstetrician was cool. She'd do a little scan and show you your baby like
Yep.
as part of the appointment.
Yep.
I don't know if that's normal. I've only been to one. but
Most private OBs
yeah,
do that.
they do.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool. Yeah, so we thought that was really cool. And
Yep.
you see the little heartbeat and
Yep.
feel all warm and fuzzy about everything. But we didn't even get that far. She just sat Casey down. We were chatting, and then while she's talking, she put the blood pressure cuff on, and then she was like, her eyes went real big, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
no, that's
no.
not I don't know, that's probably not good. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not comfortable with this.
Mm.
And then we were just like, okay. And then she didn't say anything, and then she picked the phone up and got a bed for Casey and said, "Oh, are you here now?" And I think we were going to go do something afterwards. We shot out quickly and then did what we had to do and then went to the hospital. And then she was admitted and it was downhill from there real quick. Oh, it wasn't
Yeah.
too quick. She was in that hospital for only 4 nights or something,
Yep.
maybe. Don't quote me on these numbers. Pretty scratchy.
Yep.
Sorry. And
Yeah.
then they must do the rounds, like the obstetrician must have a roster or something. And
Yep.
one of them was doing the rounds and not too stressed. And we had a horrible time in that hospital. We were kind of had to be pains in the bum to get anything done. Like it wasn't a very pleasant experience. And then Pam, again, the mother-in-law, started like explaining to me how serious this all was. And I was like, oh, shit, rightio. So sort of started to understand that it was a half serious situation, like where we could lose Casey or lose both of them.
Yeah.
Bub didn't have it. We didn't know whether he was a boy or girl at this point. So just
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But either way, losing both of them was pretty shit
yeah.
outlook.
Yeah.
Well,
Really
probably shouldn't
scary.
swear. Yeah, it was pretty, started getting pretty shaky then. And then I thought, oh, well, so she's not coming out of hospital. In my head, at the start, I was like, oh, a couple nights in and they'll get whatever's going on under control and we'll go home, which is, again, wrong.
Yeah.
Positive outlook wasn't really working for us this far.
It's just manifesting.
But we didn't manifest anything. But,
yeah.
Yeah, and I remember going, oh, well, I'll go home and get her some clothes and stuff so she's
Yep.
at least going to be comfortable. And Pam
Yep.
said, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll stay here with her.
Yep.
So I had to drive 2 hours home. And just as I got home, Pam called. And I don't know why, you know, you have a feeling. As soon as I saw her name on my phone, because I just didn't expect a call.
Yeah.
We were already on the same page. It's only been 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Oh, something's
here we
happened.
go.
Yeah.
Like, Aunt answered. I was like, hello. And she goes, hey, they're taking her out now. They're putting her in a chopper. I was like, well, that's pretty serious. Like,
Yeah.
Casey's been choppered to the next hospital.
Yep. So you met her at that hospital.
Yeah, I think I might have even
Yep.
stayed at home and just waited for her to land
Yeah.
and then call me to tell me what she wanted because we knew it was going
Yep.
to be a long stay at that point. Obviously, not going
Yeah.
to waste helicopter rides
Yeah. Yeah.
on anything. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think I, from memory, hung at home for a bit before I left, and then she gave me like almost a list of. I should have just brought everything.
The whole house, the whole wardrobe.
Yeah, and then that's when it really began. So it wasn't a 2-hour drive. Then it was nearly 5. I think it was bang on 5-hour drive
Yeah.
up and spend a few nights with Casey in the hospital. And then Pam was pretty good about it. She sort of just said, "Oh, my work's." I don't know if she realised what she was signing up for when she said this because she's like, "I know your work's not that flexible."
Yep.
But mine, I've told them the situation, they're pretty flexible. So tell me what days you can't be here and I'll be here.
That's
So then we
so
just sort of
really
did our
good.
opposite roster. Like I said, she's a gem. So we got real close through. We already got along great and everything, but we got
Yeah.
really close through all this. And then it gets way deeper, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, so I basically travelled home Monday nights, worked Tuesdays and Wednesdays,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes Thursdays, then shot home, jumped in the other car, jumped
Yeah.
out of my work into the other car
Mm-hmm.
and back to the hospital. So
Yeah.
another 5 hours.
Big weeks for
Um,
you, hey.
Yeah, it was horrible. So just
Yeah.
trying to fit enough work in. I was fortunate enough. We had some really good customers with ongoing work. And I sort of said, like, this is what's happening.
Yep.
And all the ones that with the patchy work, I just sort of recommended them some other workshops and stuff.
Yep.
Just like there's nothing
Yep.
I can, for you. I don't know. Maybe I'll fill for the work back when we get back on our feet or something if we ever
Yeah.
did. We didn't know what the future held at that point. But then
Yeah.
a couple of ongoing customers told them what was going on. And they sort of said, well, I was pretty fortunate probably because the guys who I was working for have kids.
Yeah.
And they were basically like, man, that's got to come first. You just be here when you can to do the work, and we'll just kind of keep it ticket. We'll do as little as we can. So whenever you want the work, there's heaps of work here for you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and it was awesome. So
Yep.
those probably 2 or 3 people is what kept us financially viable for the whole, what ended up being 5
5 months.
months away from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd just travel. I was doing opposite weeks, really, 2 days of work and 5 days off, but the days off weren't really
Yeah.
leisure
Yeah.
No.
at that point. But yeah, and travelled just up and back and
Yep.
spent enough time in maternity to get to know a bunch of the midwives. I was bringing them
Yep.
coffees in the mornings and really sucking up because they'd let me stay past visiting hours and stuff. I still was never allowed to stay a night until the night before he was born, but it was
Yeah.
all right.
You're like,
Initially, they wouldn't even let me in before visiting hours. Like, they were so strict. I'm at the door and it's like, oh, hit this buzzer
Mm.
to get in. I'm
Yep.
buzzing in and they're like, hello, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm here to see my wife. And they're like,
It's
visiting hours are 7 till 7. It's 6:15. And I was like, Yeah, well, I'm awake and I don't want to hang out with
And
my
I want
wife.
to see my
Yeah.
wife, actually.
Yeah, we got a bit on. I'm a bit stressed. I don't know. And then
we got a bit on.
yeah, at the start I was just grumpy with them, and then
Yeah.
Pam again was like, "That's just being grumpy at them for doing their jobs, not that smart." And I was like,
Pam
all right, we
making
gotta-
you go back to
"Yeah,"
earth.
she's making me
Give it
think. And I was
the
like,
voice
all right,
of
then.
realization.
Okay.
So then that next morning brought her midwife a coffee. I'm like, "Oh, you're doing 2 hourly obs. Oh, it's crazy that you're here right on time because I have a coffee for you." And then the next morning, I rocked up a bit earlier with a couple of coffees. Sucked right up, and we started getting in, depending on who was on, which I can't complain. They're doing their job, following the rules, but most of them ended up being pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some nights I could really push my visits out till like 9:30, and then they're like, "Come on, mate.
They're
If
like,
one of the other
Get out.
mums to be sees you here, they'll just start asking why their partner can't." Yeah, that's fine. I'm not
Yeah,
going to make anyone's
Yep.
life hard. I just want to.
Yeah.
So it was weird spending time with my wife, like almost on a roster. It was
Yeah.
like 12 hours where I could visit her, and
Yeah.
because she couldn't leave the hospital because her blood pressure was like her head was about to pop off. So
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
did that for
Yep.
4. I think
Almost
it was 4 or
6
4.5 weeks. Yeah, in total.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
It
I
was a
think
friggin' long
Casey
time.
said that you got admitted there at like 22 weeks, and then he was born at 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
28 and 3 was he born?
Yeah. 28 and 3.
You
yeah.
probably remember it better than me. I was just in a state of panic the whole time.
but
But
yeah, so tell us about the day he was born. What happened? What happened?
oh, it was a strangely calm day, I think. So
Yeah.
I don't know who I was talking to. I don't think it was Pam, but someone was like, we just need to be, you've got to be positive. It's a pretty hard situation, but positivity will be good on the day because Casey's got to get an emergency cesarean. And because it did all end up happening really quick. Obviously, I drove home, as we were talking about before. I drove all the way home, start work again, had the few days' work planned, and I was getting stressed because work was starting to pile up. I was like, I'm going to have to stay home a bit longer. Like, it's been 4 weeks of working 2 days a week. I got to go home and do some work. So had all extra work planned, ordered a bunch of parts and stuff, and got home, walked up onto the deck, pat the dogs, and then my phone rang, and so we have security cameras. So sometimes when I got home, Casey would see me on the cameras and just ring to ask how the drive was and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, babe, how you going? And she goes, oh, he's coming tomorrow morning. I was like, I think my actual reaction was, what the? Like, yeah. And she's like, oh, you could at least be happy about it. And I was like, no, that's not what I'm not upset. I just drove 5 hours one way. And I specifically asked some of the staff, like, I was like, hey, I'm going to go home for a few days' work here. Like, I've taken a fair bit on. Do you think that'll be right? And they're like, yeah, nothing's changing. And that was like an hour before I left. I was like, what's happened in 6 hours? I was starting to, and then I was like, oh, and then it sort of dawned on me that obviously everything's not going the right way
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
bub to be coming this early. So then I just hopped back in the car. I didn't even get my bag out. I just gave the dogs another pat. I probably gave them a treat or something. And then I was like, oh, I guess
You
yeah.
were home for like
The dogs
10
are probably
minutes.
like, what is
Yeah, they're
happening?
like, what is this dick doing? Because we love our dogs. They were like kids for us
Yeah,
before we had kids. I'm
yeah.
like giving them a pat. And I didn't even go inside. I don't think I even went inside the house. I was like, went there and I was like, oh, well,
Oh, well.
back
get
on
back
the
in.
road. Like, yeah, cool. Hop back in the car, fueled up, went straight
Yeah.
back. And then that was the night the ladies in maternity were nice enough to let me
All
stay the
those
night.
coffees paid off.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars invested in coffees just for that one night in the most uncomfortable bed anyone could sleep on.
They are not
No, but it
comfy
was
so
at
worth
all.
it.
I think they got it. It was cool. By the time I got back there, it was like 11 or 12 at night.
Yeah.
And they said, don't buzz in. Just let your wife know you're here and she'll let one of us know. So
Yeah.
it was like I was got
In-
smuggled in.
Yeah, literally.
And they got me in there and they had my bed already made up for me. And then I don't think we
Oh.
slept very much, but we just tried to
Yeah.
wind down a bit. And
Yeah.
we probably cried a bunch and
Mhm.
were scared.
Prepare for the
Yeah.
next day.
Had no idea what was coming, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then the next day,
Can I just
yeah.
ask a question? You and Casey, did you guys go and have a tour of NICU? Can you tell me about
Yeah, we
that
did,
as well
sorry.
before we talk
So-
about him being born? Sorry.
Sorry, so that was scary as shit.
Yeah.
So you've had Jasmine on
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Amaya.
Yeah.
So I believe they were same gestation, Amaya and Micah. So when we went for our tour was a week before because it was just a casual planning. Casey was still mobile then. She walked down to NICU.
Yep.
She might have been in a wheelchair. Can't remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, one of the staff members, like everyone there's lovely. We got along with everyone there so well, but at this point we didn't know anyone. So it was all
Yeah.
just scary.
Mm.
And yeah, we got taken through and then like you sort of walk past and you see these tiny little babies.
Mm.
What the? like becoming a dad was already scary enough at this point because I don't think I'd done more than hold a kid for a photo.
Yeah.
Like nothing else. Like
Yeah.
some of my older cousins have kids and that,
Yeah.
and you love them and all, like
Yep.
wish them all the best. But I had no
Yep.
idea like
Yep.
what. And then we're walking past a room and I saw one bub was tiny. And while we were having our tour,
No, that's
Amaya
fine. You can talk about it. Yeah.
set off all like her
All the
alarms went off,
alarms,
and then
yeah.
the staff member who was giving us our tour was like, "Stay right here," and then someone was yelling out, "Get the resus table," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!" And this is
Yeah.
right after they've told us that no, you're having a 28-weeker, so it'll be pretty straightforward, you know, don't stress. And then all these alarms are going off, and staff were running from everywhere, and then table got
Yep.
taken in, and we were
Yep.
like, and then it wasn't a short ordeal. I was like, I knew Casey was already stressed and I was
Yeah.
stressed. I was like, I probably should just move her away because I realised I was standing there and Casey's wheelchair was just facing that room's door. So she was just sitting there just watching, like watching a
And you're
real
like,
scary movie. And I was like,
maybe we should.
Well, I think all I did was like turn her to the side.
Don't look at this, babe.
I think I just faced her to the lineup of breast pumps or something. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, we shouldn't watch. And she's like, yeah, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
And then we both started crying. And we're like,
Yeah.
Is she going to be all right? Like, what?
Yeah.
And then obviously everything was got under control quite quickly. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just had Jasmine on here. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
we only know, I know you know who it was because then we were there and then we become friends
Yeah.
with them. We know what
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
So that's how I
Yeah.
knew who it is. But, and we were like, is this what we're going into? Like, what the?
Yeah.
Then
And I said to Casey on her pod, it's so unfortunate that it happened at the time of your tour because honestly, we do try to make them quite lovely and
Yeah, it was
as you
perfect up until that
can,
point.
you know.
Yeah, it was super
yeah.
relaxed, and it was like, okay, we're going to come here for a month or two. Our bub's going to get looked after till he's strong, and then we're going to go home, and it's going to be all sweet. And then that happened, we were like, well, this is all a bit like scary now. So then we're both scared, not to knock the tour, but that's just how it unfolded.
Yeah.
We were really scared at that point, and then it wasn't long before I did the big drive, the pointless turnaround drive, just to check the weather at home. And then Micah was coming the next morning, and they said, get the sleep you can because we're going to start early.
Yeah.
And the surgeon briefed us. But then as it turned out, it was a small world. So the midwife said, I've just come up from another hospital way down south. And I was like, that's cool. I was just talking because we're sitting there Meg will probably remember I talk a lot when I'm stressed because I talk flat out in the waiting room beside the birthing room. But or operating room, sorry. And we were just talking, what hospital are you from? And she told me, and I said, were you a midwife down there? And she goes, yeah. And I said, were you there a while? I said, I think one of my cousins works there. And I said, do you know so-and-so? And she's like, yeah, she was one of my references to get me this job. And I was like, that's my cousin. And not like a stranger, a very close family unit, typical WOGs. So we're all like in each other's pocket, in each other's lives a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a small world. So I text her, and we were already texting because she's a midwife as well. So I was like, what can I do? And she's like, I've got to be honest with you, this doesn't look great. It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
So might have been her that told me just try and stay positive. And then, we're with one of her friends getting
That's
prepped
so
for going
nice.
for Micah to be born, and then, which kind of was nice.
Yeah.
The
Sense of
the way that
community,
worked out,
hey?
it felt like,
Yeah.
And you felt like probably you could trust her a little bit more because
as
your cousin
terrible
was
as that
telling
is
you.
to say, and she said, she's amazing at her job. And I was like,
Good.
that's cool. So that made
Makes
it
you
feel a
feel
little
good.
bit nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe took the edge off, I don't know. But then everything started happening, and then we're in the waiting room. That's where I met you.
Yep.
Just
In the
talk.
anaesthetic bay outside of
That's what it's called. Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
operating room. Yep.
Is that what it is? The anaesthetic room, and then
And then the operating room.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let me in the operating room until after Casey had the spinal in and everything.
Yep.
So we just sat there and talked flat. I would have been stressed. I don't know what.
Lots
I
of
would have said to
chatting.
you,
Yapped and yapped and yapped.
I found out a lot about Mick that day.
I wouldn't have inhaled for like 20 minutes. I was just stressing. But Meg was good. She handled it.
Good.
Like, listened. I don't know whatever I said, but good listener. And then we're in there for the cesarean. But I do remember the surgeon said before, they said once the anaesthetic's in Casey's system, I might have this wrong, this is how I remembered it. Once it's in Casey's system, they're going to get him out real quick because they don't want any anaesthetic to get
crossing over
to him because he's already in a vulnerable state.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were like, not knocking the staff, they have a job to do, but it was full rip, tear, bust. Like we could hear him tearing muscle and the table was shaking, and I was like, holy shit, man. And Casey's strapped down and I'm trying to not show panic for. I was like, holy crap, man! And then the
This is intense.
and then they're like, they had my phone to get some photos of him being born.
Yep.
But then of course I couldn't help myself, so I was just like screen cheating like a gamer. I was just watching my phone to watch. They said, I'm not allowed to watch, and I was like, oh yeah, this isn't probably a normal cesarean, so I can't be involved. Like, but yeah, so I sort of watched it like that, and I was like, oh, there's just shit going on down there. But then Micah popped out and cried straight away.
That's so beautiful.
And then
How did you feel when you heard him cry?
it was a little bit surreal.
Yeah.
Because I'd already heard someone call it the resus table, and then they saw me hear it get called the resus table, and I was like, from what?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, sorry, that's just what it's called. Like this light here is to keep them warm. It might have been you running me through at the table, because I was just like, why is it called that? How bad? What are we in for here? Getting all protective. I don't know what I thought I was going to do, resus my own baby or something. But I was like, oh, what are you doing with my kid?
Let me at it.
Yeah, I don't know. Some weird feelings come over you when you're in that situation. But when he cried, when he came straight out, and one of the other staff members that was there must have been the CN, was sort of standing off to the side, not involved in the cesarean or. And then when Micah came out, and cried quite loud too. All the staff I saw all their body language just go like from ready to for anything to like quite relaxed.
Yeah.
And me seeing that, I was like, oh,
excellent.
well, that's a good start. Like, I'm still got the words resus stable in my head. And I'm like, oh, here we go. He's going to come out.
Yeah.
Needing that.
Yeah.
Thinking the worst at this point, because my positive outlook didn't save anything. So I started going worst case scenario in our heads by that point. There he came out and he was crying a little bit.
Yeah. You got to cut the cord?
Yeah, there's a bit of a story with that too. So my friends, I don't know if you remember this.
I do remember this.
my friends have kids are like, oh, when you cut the cord, it's tough as, man. And I was like, oh yeah. And I suppose, maybe it doesn't seem obvious, but Micah's 28 weeker, so maybe the cord didn't have time to get.
And also, I reckon you had a lot of adrenaline in your system.
But I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. So I went to hack at it with the scissors. And it cut really easy, and then I stabbed the CN in the hand with the scissors.
The nurse practitioner. Not
CN. Sorry. But I was like, this is going to be real tough. And they're holding it, and I was like, snip. And of course, and not, the scissors are like one side's sharp and pointy, and the other bit's rounded. Of course, it was the pointy bit straight through their glove into their hand. And I was like, holy. And then I pulled them, like, sort of, there was like a second pause. It felt like forever, but I was like, and pulled them out. And then they go, can I get a new glove, please? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And they're like, oh, it's fine.
It happens.
Yeah, and they handled it like a boss. To be honest, they would just rip the cut, and they were bleeding maybe a tiny bit. Obviously, it wasn't bad. But I was like, oh, I just stabbed the doctor that's helping the kid's tail off. That was a bad judgment. And then everyone says that, oh, was the umbilical cord really tough? And I was like, no, and you've got to stop telling people that. Because I overcommitted to the cut by a mile and stabbed someone in the hand. And they're like, oh, you shouldn't do that.
Mick's like, this is my first job and I'll be doing it well.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sitting here hacking at it. This is going to plan. And
one snip.
One and done.
Straight into someone's hand. But that was all handled well. No one was stressed about it. New glove went on, and Micah kept getting looked after.
Excellent.
And then, he was on the table with the lights on, wrapped in warm blankets.
Yep.
And maybe the one thing I wish we knew was that he was going to go into that clear bag that helped keep the fluids on his skin.
Yeah, and the humidity and keep them warm. Yeah.
Yeah, because that just looked like he was deceased at that point.
Yes.
We were like, what is that? But then when he was wrapped up in towels, that's still inside all the towels and stuff, so you don't know, but it all looks all right.
Yeah.
But I suppose we were fortunate in one way, because Casey's youngest brother was a 28-weeker.
Yep.
So Pam was like, oh, this sounds terrible, but they sometimes look they don't look like a healthy baby when they're born at this point. So it sounds terrible, but just Google some pictures. So I was like, oh, okay. So we did a bit of that, sort of saw some bubs that come preemie, and they look, I feel terrible saying it, but our kid was a preemie, so I can say it. They look like little aliens. And I was like, oh, well, but then Micah didn't look like E.T. was his dad. I don't know. He looked okay. So that was all right. He's just really little, which was scary. And but everyone kept saying, oh, like all of you staff kept saying, oh, he looks well. So I was like, oh, we'll take your word for it.
Yep. And they took him in to see Casey, didn't they? Before going back?
Very briefly. Yeah, I was scrolling through photos before this trying to remember everything, because I've buried it in a pretty deep box. But they took him in to see her. briefly.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then they said, oh, yeah, we've got to start getting him down to NICU.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's cool. And I said, oh, if he's in good condition, can we pause for a second? And a couple of the staff were like, why would we pause in the freaking hallway of a hospital? And I called Pam and said, hey, if you come out right now, we're just coming out. We're going to be just walking out the door
Mm.
of the operating rooms
Yep.
to go down the hallway to the NICU. So he had to go through the public, like the hallway where
Yeah.
the public can walk.
Hallway. Yeah.
Just for a moment, like almost barely cross it.
Yeah.
And she was in the waiting room just on the other side. And I said, come out the doors right now.
Yep.
Which was, I'm glad I did because she got to see
Good.
him. And then, yeah, we got to have a hug and a cry together.
Yep.
And then I was like, all right, we're going to go. And then I think because she came out, they were like, oh, well, you can come in and keep Casey company.
Mm.
So Dad can go with Bub, which was
That's perfect.
ended up being nice because in Casey wasn't on her own. I knew she was struggling already. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
and then we're
that's so nice that you thought of her too.
yeah, well, she'd
really,
been there
really
like every
nice.
step of the way,
Yeah.
IVF included. So she's in town where we have to travel to.
Yep.
We had to travel to get the IVF procedure. So we're always staying at their house. And
Yep.
so, like I said, we were already close before all of this, but then you go through some
Mm.
this stuff, and I don't know, you're either gonna become friend or foe. So we
Yeah.
become really close, so,
Yeah.
Good.
which is pretty nice.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so she got to see him moments, maybe minutes after he was born, which was nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really
And it was good for her
special.
too because she was also in like a state of panic. Obviously, you had her
Yeah.
daughter and then her grandchild, and
Mm-hmm.
she saw that he was quite well, which I suppose she knew a little bit of what she was looking at because she had a premiere of her own.
Yep.
Yep.
So she's like, oh, he looks well. Like, and then maybe it was a little bit of positive, a little bit of excitement crept in. Like, we're like, yeah,
Good.
maybe there's a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel because
Yep.
he looks well, and everyone kept saying, oh, he looks so well.
Yep.
And then Micah had to do what Micah does and created some fights of his own along the way. But
And so you went with him to NICU, hey?
yeah, went with
Yeah.
him to NICU. And did you have him straight away for the whole first shift?
Mhm.
Yes, I would have just talked you off all day.
Yeah, all
Yeah, I
day.
was stressed. Yeah, Meg would have known my life story. By
Yep,
then.
yep.
Yeah, my son being born reminds me a lot of my birth. I just talk a lot of shit when I was nervous, and I
Yeah.
was very nervous.
And you asked a lot of questions, but that was a good thing. You learned a
Yeah,
lot.
I didn't want to. Well, we'd already spent 4.5 weeks in maternity, and it got really boring. So I just started asking questions there. That's probably where I was like, so what's this? And then the specialist, like MFM team, would do their twice daily meetings, I think it was, and just ask them heaps of questions. So they were the first ones, I think. They would do their rounds in the ward, and they'd poke their head in and be like, hey, you feeling cool? We'll come back to you at the end because he asks too many questions. So we're not going to make all the other mums wait. We'll come back at the end. So that was good of them,
Yep.
like to give me the time, because I
Yes.
could have been like, buddy, this is a public hospital. We've got a job to do. And
Yep.
But they didn't. And then no one in NICU did either. I just had a relentless amount of questions.
Yep.
Wanted to try and understand everything I could.
Yeah.
Certainly don't think I could do anyone's job, but I had half of an idea of what was going on
Yeah.
by the end of it, which was really nice.
That's great. Yep.
So how did you feel going to NICU, seeing him, all of the monitors?
It was pretty overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, definitely, because you just, yeah, the whole thing was really, I just tried to just focus on him and not worry myself with everything else going on. And then there's other families in there going through the same thing, and or similar or worse.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just a lot
Yeah.
initially. And then it's, I suppose, not to jump too far ahead, but it is crazy how it goes from being so overwhelming to after so many weeks in there, it's just like becomes another day. You're just rolling in and you're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
your cares on your bub.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
but yeah, the start was a lot
Yeah.
to take in. The tour was helpful because you knew like geographically where you were, but
Yeah.
beyond that, it was like very different when it's your own kid in there. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish out of water.
Yeah.
yeah, it was super. Yeah, like I said, I'm a mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
so it was
Not really much time in hospitals and
plenty because I like to think I could ride a dirt bike when I was younger, but
Oh.
not to that degree anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot. It was very
Yep.
yeah, and then everything's beeping all the time, and
Yep.
but you get come around, and then
Yep.
that's maybe it became less overwhelming because I asked so many questions as well.
Yep.
Started understanding what
Yep.
this
What
was,
we
or
were
why is that
doing, yeah.
alarming, and then there was a lot of that alarms, but it's more of like a precursor to something
Yep.
being really wrong. So that's not an alarm you need to worry about. It's
Yep.
like you, and then I think I don't know who it was. Someone said, "Oh, don't worry about the alarms. You really need to worry about. We know what they sound like, right?" And then
Yep.
sure enough, we heard them a few weeks later. But
I'm worried about him now.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, that is a new alarm. This is pretty bad."
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And Casey said that you did his first cares, or one of his first cares.
yeah, I would have
Yeah.
because she couldn't get out of bed
Yeah.
for a couple of days. So
Yep.
I think he's offered. He was like, "Oh, you don't have to," and I was like, "No, let me at it." It's
You're like, I want to. This
it's-
is my boy.
yeah, that's my kid, so
Yep.
I'll try. But I was probably almost a bit pig-headed. I probably could have just taken a breath then and let it happen, but I wanted to do it all. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I just remember how small he was the first time we changed his bedding and stuff. And I sort of picked him up, and his head was just like at the start of my fingers. I slid
Yep.
my hand under from got the 2 portholes in the humidity crib. And I went to
Yeah.
the bottom one like that, and then just had him on my hand, and his little legs were just down my arm, and that was it.
Yep.
Like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
held some babies, but this is different. And
Yeah.
he was 904 grams when he was born, so maybe ever so slightly more, or no less, because they lose weight, don't they? When
Yeah.
they lose water weight, so he dropped
Mhm.
a bit of weight, so he was even less than 900 grams. So I was
Yep.
like, holy cow! Held him up, so I can't remember who was on that shift, but yeah, held him up so they could slide some bedding out and under. But yeah, I tried to be involved as much as I could, which
Yep.
was good and maybe also bad. Like I probably could just let it happen a bit, but I wanted to be there. If I was getting up at 1 a.m. to go and do 2 a.m. cares and then trying to go for a run after that to try and clear my mind, and then by the end of the day, you've been up for a silly amount of time and
Yeah.
just rattled, and then you're not making good, probably not bad decisions, but just not thinking super clearly and running
Yep.
myself into the ground. So I probably
Yep.
got a little bit carried away with it, but
Yeah.
but tried.
No,
to
I
do
love that.
a
I
lot.
love that you wanted to be there for him so much.
Yeah, it was tough. I think I stayed for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Straight up, right after he was born, and then some work was piling up, and the bank account was going the wrong way. So went back to work,
Yeah.
which was a horrible idea. I was
Yeah.
I was working on a coal mine, and I kept forgetting. I walked around without. I wonder who'll listen to this. Shouldn't lose my job. I was walking around without a hard hat for ages. One of the guys is like, "What are you doing, man?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm just here to do this and that. And they're like, "Where's your hard hat?" And I was like, "It's in my car."
Your mind wasn't on the
It's like, yeah,
job.
I was
on
so
Micah.
badly elsewhere. Yeah, I shouldn't have probably been at
Yeah.
work at that point. But
But you had to be.
yeah,
There
pulled it
was no
together. I
other
think that was like a
option.
wake up, and I went and sat in the car for a bit, and I was like, all right, if I'm going to be here, I have to be here.
Yeah.
So I think I text Casey, and because I was getting so stressed, I had to make a rule. I was like, if you're going to ring me, you have to text me first and say everything's all good. I'm just going to call in 5 minutes, because otherwise, when a name popped up on my phone, I was just like, oh, he's gone for sure.
Oh wow.
It was like
that was the level of what you were thinking.
Yeah,
Every
it was
time you got a call.
really
Yeah.
yeah, every time. Or when like Pam's name came up on my phone, it was the same thing. Like, can you just text me first? It seems
Yeah,
ridiculous. I even knew
yeah.
it was. I was like, I'm just in a state of panic.
Yeah.
I need just to text me and just be
Yeah.
like, I'm going to call in 5 minutes. Because then I get the alert and I'd be like, oh, they're going to call.
Yeah.
And then when the phone rings, my heart didn't stop every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then just worked a couple of days, travelled back,
Yeah.
spent some time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like all bad. It was all like coming out the other end of it. Now we have him and he's healthy, and there was a lot of positives in the experience too. Like the people at Ronald McDonald House were lovely. Like
Yep.
they understand that you're going through something, so they're not making all these outlandish demands of you. They very gently walk you through the things they have to do, I suppose, like legalities. They're going to give you the tour and
Yep.
you're just sign a bit of paperwork. You're not going to trash the joint and
Yep.
you'll fix it if you do. Like all the common sense stuff, I suppose, but they're not in your face with it. They're very like in your own time.
Yep.
Come in when you can. We just can't put you in a room until we do this little process. And
Yep.
they were great.
Yep.
They're amazing people
Yeah.
there too. And then they become your friends too, because every time you walk through the door, they're like, how's it all going? And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or someone else in another room's having a bad time, and the staff are like, oh, just
Yep.
yeah, they've just
Yeah.
give them a bit of space, or
See, that's nice too.
Yeah, so
Giving
it's
you a
sorta-
heads up about
yeah,
what's
100%.
happening.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty raw. Like as good as the Ronald McDonald House is, it's also really hard because everywhere you look,
Everyone's going through
the only
something.
people there are there for like
Hard
Heartbreak
stuff.
Hotel. Like,
Yeah.
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 they're there for really difficult things, but
Yep.
it's still amazing what they do.
Yeah.
And the social workers at the hospital and everything, how it all unraveled. We were so stressed about like where I was going to stay when I was up there, because I obviously couldn't move into maternity.
Yeah.
But before I'd even really had a chance to worry about it, they got my phone number off Casey and called and said, hey, I'm the social worker here. Once you get here, we just need some paperwork. Already secured your room in Ronald McDonald House. I was like, oh,
Too good.
yeah, I haven't even had time to really be stressed about it.
Yeah.
I just, it was only a passing thought at that moment. And yeah, before I even got there. So
It
it
was
was
already
like,
sorted.
yeah, got there. Casey was in maternity. Got her some creature comforts clothes and whatever, settle in, and then it was go over there and get settled into that room.
Yep.
So it was good. That was one stress. And then Pam and I sort of were back to back. So she stayed in that room. They were fine with her, having her name on it as well.
Yep.
Because initially we were stressed about who's going to pay for all this accommodation. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so that wasn't even something we had to give a second thought to. That was sorted until we were all good to go,
That's so good.
which
hey?
was amazing. Yeah. So
Such a relief for you, because even knowing that, you've got to go back to work to get yourselves, all the money coming in to pay your bills at
Yeah, it was-
home, at least then you didn't have other bills, piling up
yeah, it
for
was
accommodation.
yeah, it was probably one of the bigger helps, obviously,
Mm.
because it was, we lived 5 hours away, so it was a big
Yep.
stress. I did have one friend in Townsville who said I
Yep.
could stay there, but they have their own life going on, and it was a little bit of a drive away from the hospital, and so it was a good option. Obviously, if we needed it, it was lovely of them to offer.
Yeah.
I've stayed with them plenty of times, but it was
Yeah.
just in this situation, you didn't want to
Yeah.
be far away, and Ronald McDonald House being walking distance,
Right
and
there.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
And then talk us through Casey's, she spoke a lot about her postnatal depression and how hard that was for her, and a lot of irrational thoughts that she would have when she would leave, and
yeah, it was.
how was that for you to be there for her?
It was difficult. Obviously, it's difficult for everyone around the situation. At the start, I was probably too stressed to realize what was going on.
Yeah.
I was just like, "What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I don't love you? I got to go to work." Like,
Yeah.
and then I think I just started. Like, it might have been one of my parents even, because I used to just call people like while I had reception on the drive home, just
Mhm.
call to talk to someone. Someone, honestly, can't remember who it is. That's probably pretty bad, but hopefully they don't listen to this and get offended.
They won't.
No, they were like, "It sounds like she's struggling, mate." And I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's
Yeah.
pretty stupid. I did not pick up on that yet." But
yeah.
and then it was pretty hard. She didn't even want to leave the hospital ever. She was like,
Yeah.
I remember one night she's like, "What am I going to do if I'm here in Ronald McDonald House and someone bombs the hospital?" And I was like, "Well, then the hospital's going to be rubble, and you being there's only going to really make the problem greater."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I have to be there with him in case that happens." And I was like, what is going on in your mind for these
Yeah.
scenarios to be coming out?
Mm.
And then I couldn't rationalize any. I was like, what is
Yeah.
going on? Like, she's
Yeah. Fully irrational.
yeah. And then at that
hey?
point, but
Yeah.
then I started talking to the staff who were with Micah, and you obviously would see
Yeah.
probably I imagine most of the mums would have a horrible time coming through there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Dads too, but the mums is like where the P&D hits. Yeah, and they were just like, "Oh, she's obviously struggling," and then I had previously been through some mental health and just sticky times when I was younger.
Mm.
I started trying to remember back to like call it my toolbox, for lack
Yep.
of a better term, like how to like coping mechanisms basically, and how to sort of rationalize things myself. And then for me, the biggest change when I was younger was exercise, which everyone bangs on about, but healthy body, healthy mind sort of stuff. So she
Yep.
hated me, but I was like, "Get in the car."
Yeah.
We were telling Meg about this earlier. I was like, "Get in the car. We're going around the corner, and there's like some old basketball courts around the corner."
Yeah.
And I was like, "We're just going to run around here." And I was like chasing her, and we've been just dickheads. And I was like, "Oh, lay down," like trying to get her to do anything, get her moving again.
Yep.
And to be fair, it actually worked. Not that I saved the day by any means, but it probably had a better effect on me as well, a bit of clarity. And we actually laughed for the first time in
Yep.
weeks or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
months, like just being silly. I was like, "I've never even seen you run." Like our whole relationship. So I was like, stand on that white line and run as far. And she's like, "I'm not running." And I was like, I got to sweat. I was like, "You're fucking running. You're going to stay there. And when I say go, you're going to run as fast as you can. I'm going to chase you down." It was like really probably silly. And then, like sure enough, got her running and doing some stuff and
Yep.
just jumping on the spot. It was nothing. Like I'm a long way from a personal trainer, but I was like, movement is medicine kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we just,
and being outside.
get some fresh air.
Yeah.
And we weren't just in the food court beside the hospital, which is where we
Yes.
spent. I swear we didn't go anywhere outside of those. Like Ronald McDonald House, food court,
Yep.
hospital room
Hospital.
was it for like the
Months.
first 4 weeks probably. And that's when
Yeah.
it started. I was like, all right, this is,
Yep.
we need to get out and do something. And then we started sneaking off for the odd dinner. And because like
I love
it was
that.
very strange
Yeah.
going out for dinner and knowing your kid's in hospital, but
Yeah.
you're like,
You
there's
guys need
staff
some
looking
time
after him.
together.
Yeah, like we went and
Yeah.
got dinner, and then we started going out for dinner with some of the other parents of
Oh,
that were
I
in
love that.
NICU, and then
Yep.
which have all been previous guests, I think, like
Yeah.
Fee and Tommy,
Yep.
Jasmine and Jacob.
Yep.
I feel like there's someone else we went for dinner with, but I can't remember. But
Yep.
and we tried luring out another one or two of the mums that were there on their own, and I was like, "Come on, we'll go get you dinner and that." And I think that maybe one of them came once or twice, and
Yep.
it's a lot. We didn't want to be forceful, obviously, but just we started being a bit more positive ourselves, and then
Yep.
realizing, because I guess once you come out of that hole a little bit, Casey was still struggling, I think, a bit, but my goofy ass could probably keep her half entertained when I was there, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, started really feeling for everyone else. I was like, oh, wow, that's bad. And then we met like Tommy and Fee,
Yep.
who were there with their second bub to go through, and they were awesome
Yep.
to us. I don't know if any of the staff sort of said, oh, like these two are really going through it, and you knew them from last time. So they sort of just hopped in the lift with us, and we're like, oh, what do you know? And then they were, it gets better. We've been there
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Hopefully you'll get through it.
Yep.
We can't say for certain you're going to get
Yeah.
through it, but hopefully
Yeah.
you'll get through it. And then,
They're so lovely. Hey.
but we're still friends with them
Yeah.
now, so
Yep.
they're really good people. And as it would turn out, Tommy and I had some mutual friends through dirt bikes, and
Yep.
so we get along
A
great.
small world. Hey.
Yeah, it is a very
Yeah.
small world. So that ended up being good, and then Tommy started basically doing the same thing to me, and he's like, "Come on, we're going for a run," and just flogging my ass. Like he was a lot. Yeah, he probably still is a lot, but at that point, he was a lot fitter than what I was. I was I was probably having a few drinks here and there to try and take the edge off, so I could go to sleep and not eating well. You're just eating takeaway all the time, and I was way out of shape. Tommy's like, "Come on, mate, we're going for a run," and I was like, "What are we doing here?"
Just calling you out like that.
Yeah, it was good. I needed it, but it was really good, so that helped. So I guess it was good. Even though they were in their own tough position, they took the time to help us, which really probably means a lot. Like pretty special people to not just be stuck in their own situation. I think they sort of were a bit bigger than themselves and helped us a lot. And we're still good friends with them now. That the girls talk all the time. Tommy and I are just normal dudes. We talk when we see each other. We're hopeless, but like. It's always
just
good.
some normal dudes.
Yeah, like as in we're terrible for keeping in contact. We're very busy with work, and
that's such a boy thing. Hey?
Yeah, we're terrible. But no, they're really good people. So they were probably integral in us getting through part of that battle with Casey. And Fee's mum, I believe, was heavily involved in their first premiere as well. Yeah. So it sounds like they're a tight knit family. So I never got to meet Fee's mum, but I think she helped Casey a lot as well.
She's an MVP.
Yeah,
in a lot of people's stories.
A lot of she's a pretty valuable person to the world.
Yeah.
So I think she gave Casey some gems of advice, like in her passing, in there, because we shared a room. Our kids were in beds in the same room in NICU, and then we were in rooms next door to each other in Ronnie Mac. So the girls ended up just walking backwards and forwards, and pretty much for everything. Like I think our care times synced up. So the girls spent weeks together probably. I was back and forth to work, and so was Tommy, so we were just doing what we could, but it ended up being really good that they had each other.
Yeah.
So good.
Probably made you feel a little bit better going back to work, knowing that Casey had someone to support her.
Yeah, it was 100%. When she was struggling that bad, it was really hard to go, but it was like after months of working part-time, our finances were terrible. It started looking it was really like if I don't go back to work, we aren't going to have much to go back to at this point. Like, so I need to get home and start paying the bills again. So as much as we weren't in a bad situation at the start, by midway through we were broke asses.
Yeah.
But kept working, and it was better knowing Fee was there. And then surely enough, we got to know the mum of the baby that gave us the scare of our life on a NICU tour, Jasmine, who was, funnily enough, directly across the hallway from us in Ronnie Mac. So,
wow. And literally
we had the
like
3
the
rooms.
most positive person you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, she's a gem as well.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
It
she's
is the
very quiet.
Power of community, when you're in NICU.
Yeah, massively. And it helped that all the staff there were like a big family. We really didn't have almost any staff members that we had any issues with. We probably clicked like friends almost immediately with all of yous, which was pretty valuable. it means a lot now too, obviously. But in the moment, it was good. Probably just as sounding walls to cancel ourselves through what was going on and everything. And also it was good because I could sort of come up to do cares and go, how was, after I'd been away for a couple of days of work, and come back and ask the girls, like, how was Casey? And they're like, and I do remember, which I appreciated the honesty. They were like, oh no, terrible. Like, she's struggling, mate. And I was like, okay, like I need to do more somehow. And I think there was some times in the middle where I didn't travel back for work. I know after Micah extubated himself the first time, I didn't travel back. I didn't go back for work for maybe another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How was that for you, that experience? That would be very scary.
Well, for ages, I kind of thought it was my fault.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because we were doing. I don't think it is now, but it's happened and he's all good now, so we're here. But I was like helping with cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just help hold him and this and that, which is obviously quite normal for the parents to be involved. And then I think I was talking or not paying attention, or I should have known because my nonno, like my grandfather, was passing away at the time as well. So the mental load was just terrible.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember just like sort of not concentrating, and then he got his arm out from under my hand and then grabbed his tube, and that's how he did it. He obviously doesn't know at that point that he's grabbing the tube that's in his nose down to his lungs, but like, yeah, he's like flapped his arm around a bit, and I went to grab it again, and he's grabbed it and yanked it out, and I was like, oh, he just moved that, didn't he? And then the nurse that was on, like, I remember looking up, and her face was like, and she hit the emergency buzzer or whatever it is, and that's when I heard the different alarm, and I was like, oh, this is bad. And then I think a bit of blood came out his mouth or something.
Yeah.
I've blocked this one deep.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, this is probably really bad. And Dad and his wife were there visiting, and they were just standing at the doorway while we were doing cares. And I remember sort of looking up, and all of us were like we'd seen a ghost. And then staff just started rushing in. Yeah. And sort of didn't push me out of the way, but they were like, hey, you need to like move.
Stand back
now.
a bit. Yeah.
And then Dad and his wife took Casey away. And I was like, no, I'm going to stay. Yeah. Because I did for everything. Yeah. I don't know why. I was just stubborn as a mule. I didn't want to go. So I just sort of stood in the corner of the room and watched till the staff work on him for a bit. And then one of the other girls was like, hey, you can't really be in here any longer. And I was like, oh, that means it's really bad, hey? And they were like, no, that's not what I'm saying. You just have to go so they can work on him. I said, I'm not going to get in the way. I'll stay. And they're like, no, it's really better if you don't. And I was like, I still stayed for a few more minutes. And then she's like, hey, like, I can tell you're starting to struggle watching him get worked on. You need to go. Like, and I was like, oh, fuck it, you're right. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely am. Like, I could feel my legs shaking, and I was watching them get. So I was like, all right. And then I went and sat in the waiting room. Well, they didn't make us wait in the waiting room. There's like the meeting room behind reception. They let us sit in there. And yeah, we just sat in there for like, I think it was like another 40 minutes, but it felt like weeks. And then I went back down the hallway like 10 times. I was like, oh, no one's going to see us yet. This is obviously really bad. Just went down the hallway. And then the girls at the desk obviously saw me coming, and they're like, stand up. And they're like, hey, you can't go charging now. So I'm not here to charge. I'm not, I'm not like going to go charging now. We just haven't had an update. And they're like, no, they're still working on him. Like, well, if they're still working on him, he's still here. I don't know. Yeah. So I went back and sort of didn't say it like that to Casey, but I was like, oh, they're still sorting
going.
things out. Yep. And then a doctor come and saw us, and I remember it because she took a big breath and did a big swallow, and she said, yep, he just tried really hard to get his wings, but we stopped it. Yeah. And we were like floored us, obviously. Yeah. We were like, oh, it was that bad. And she's like, yep, it was real bad. And then I don't remember the details. She told us. Yeah. But I just don't really remember them. Yeah. It's been a couple of years now, I guess.
Yeah. But also at that time, you might not have been processing
there was no
all
clarity.
That much.
Yeah, it was
just okay, thank God he's still here, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, I do remember that one of us was like, so he's going to be all right. And she's like, well, he's just given himself a much more difficult road. But, yeah. Yeah. So
it is completely not your fault, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I'm cool with that now. I just spent weeks. Yeah, I spent weeks like, oh, that was me that let him move. So that was, and then it's fine.
Is
rationalize
absolutely
it
not
and
your
like,
fault.
yeah, thank you.
It happens to
um,
us too,
Yeah.
honestly. They
Yeah,
just
it
move
was-
and they're wriggly.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
quick,
You
and because
know?
you're trying to be, they're obviously not very strong, but because you're trying to be so gentle,
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
they're somewhat strong. Like because
Yeah.
you don't want to.
Yep.
Use no better than me, but if anyone listens to it, they're like stronger than you'd think they would be with their little arms that are smaller than your pinky, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, you can't do anything, and then he moves, and you're like, oh,
Oh,
I was-
actually.
shit.
Yeah.
And he was a mover and a shaker.
Yep.
I have no other baby to compare that to, but you just kept telling us that
Very
he was
fiery. Mm-hmm.
he was a firecracker, but just always moving
Yeah.
and never really laid. But it's not like he got up and walked, but he never laid still. Like he was always
Yeah.
wiggling and carrying on. So
Yep.
but yeah, that was that. That was a scary one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't leave again for a week or two after that.
Yeah.
That was probably right at the beginning of Casey's like really bad patch of P&D.
Mm.
That might have even been, really looking back, that might have been a bit of a trigger for it.
Yeah.
And then she was like dealing with a lot of self-blame and really in this situation because I couldn't carry him longer and yeah, which was tough because I didn't know enough to try and help rationalize it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's silly.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, as nice as I was trying to be, that doesn't help at all, really. Like,
Yeah.
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 which is probably again where a lot of question asking came from. Wanted to try and have some knowledge to give
Get
her
some
to try
answers.
and
Yeah.
explain, like,
Yep.
well, this is what's happened.
Yeah.
Like how our phones listen to us now. I still get heaps of stuff about preeclampsia and stuff on my Facebook reel. So maybe I know a bit more about it now, but
Yep.
I'm certainly not a doctor. But yeah, now they're saying, like from what I've seen, it comes a lot from the males' health and DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of the male genetic makeup makes the placenta.
Yeah.
And it's the placental implantation that can affect preeclampsia.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you worded that far better than I could have. But so now we joke about it now. I'm like, oh, it was actually my fault. Your body couldn't handle my DNA throwing a party. And she's like, oh, whatever. But I suppose we're here now so we can joke about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
through that was a lot.
Can you chat to us a little bit about like him going to CPAP and stuff like that?
Yeah. So
Like-
once, well, he was ventilated for, it felt like forever.
Yeah.
I think when I did poke my head in when Casey was doing hers, she said 6 weeks. But
Yeah.
I feel like it might have even been longer.
Yep.
Felt like a lifetime because we were like, when's he going to get off this? And then one of the doctors started explaining that they were you tell me if I'm wording this wrong, but like running him like it was CPAP, but through the ventilator.
Yeah.
Because having the ventilator there was better than having to re-ventilate him.
Yep.
So he was like, it was like he was on CPAP for like nearly 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then we started getting stroppy about it, like I knew what I was talking about. Why is he still on this?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and every time they explained it, the doctors are awesome. 'Cause,
Yeah.
again, I had 100 questions. They started doing the same thing. We were in like bed 2, so we
Yep.
were the second one, and they just started skipping us. Like, poke the head in, everything all right? Yep, cool. We'll come back.
We'll
to
be
you at
back.
the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
come at the end, and sometimes they'd stay there for hours, like literally
Yeah.
hours, and talk to me
Yeah.
because I had just endless questions.
Yep.
Sometimes asking the same thing, and they're like, "You asked this yesterday," and I said, "I know. I just want to see if your answer changes so I can understand it
Yeah.
better." And they were like, "Stop it." Like, we'll explain it to you. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I want to get a better understanding. Like, I want to know what's going on because we've
Yep.
been here for so long.
Yeah.
I want to learn about it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mm.
But so he was CPAPing through the vent, and then it was you that changed him to CPAP, I think.
There you go. I don't remember that, but There
Yeah,
you go.
because he was extubated and then put on CPAP, and then I
Yeah.
think it was only a few days till we changed rooms, and then that's when our neighbours were Tommy and Fee.
Yeah.
Like, was
Mm.
shared the room with them,
Mm.
which was really nice because they
Yeah.
were like, oh, we already knew them at that point, so it was comfortable because we'd sort of share a room, and the
Yep.
mums were breastfeeding, and it's just way more comfortable when you know the person that's right there because you're quite close to
Absolutely.
each other, so it was all
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, cool, you're right. And,
Yeah.
yeah, from there it really just started getting better and better.
Yeah.
So really,
Mm.
that setback with pulling his own vent tube out led to a bunch of other stuff, didn't it? It was like he ended up with infections and sepsis and is it an edema in his lungs? Where his
Yeah.
lungs were like flooded with blood, and then that's where they found the hole in his heart hadn't closed up, and So he had
Yeah.
a way rockier road than just that one event.
Yeah.
But by the time we were coming off the vent, most of that had been
Yeah.
put to bed or started heading in the right direction. So they took him
Yep.
off the vent.
Yep.
And to CPAP, which was awesome, really, because did we give him bath? Can you bath on CPAP or was that high flow?
High flow.
Yeah. I think CPAP was just nicer because we could we pick him up at that point without
It'd be
nurses? Because when he was vented, we couldn't, he was still in the humidity crib, we couldn't
Yep.
just pick him up.
Yep.
I think that's what it was. It was a big relief. And I think it just was a massive step of progress, like
Yeah.
finally away from that breathing machine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and just a little CPAP thing. But he wasn't on that very long. Like
Yeah.
8 or 10 days or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which, yeah, we were like, oh, yeah, look at our little
What a
monsters
show off.
setting records. But then that's when the doctors were like, no, it's because he was basically on CPAP but on the ventilator. So
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Oh,
I'm still going to claim
okay.
it. He was on CPAP for like 8 or 10 days.
Yeah.
Look at our little trendsetter. But, yeah, and then high flow. And then I think once he went to the high flow, that's when Casey could start trying to breastfeed.
Yeah.
And things started really moving in a generally, not in a hurry, but like things started trending more positive from there.
Yeah.
Especially like with the breastfeeding and her P&D, and she had to like set alarms and wake up to express every, I don't remember.
3 to 4 hours.
Is it 4? I was going to say 4 to 6, but yeah, 4 hours. And then because Casey likes to overdo everything, she would have been setting alarms for like 3 hours for sure. So she's waking up at every 3 hours and trying to express, and she's never breastfed her baby yet. So she was feeling like a big disconnect, which again, I can't apply any logic to. I'm a dude. Like I was just like, yeah, well, you just can't. That's it. Like I don't know what to tell you. You can't do anything about it. So I think going to CPAP, and then that was only a short amount of time. So then on to high flow, that was when things started feeling like they were trending in the right direction.
Yeah, and she said it was such a beautiful moment for her being able to do those breastfeeds. She
meant a
said
lot
it
to
felt
her.
very healing to do something normal.
Yeah,
And something that she could do for him. Yeah.
I don't remember the word for word at all, but she feels like she feels like a mum now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you've been a pretty good mum the whole time, but like
that's so special.
whatever cements it for you, like
Yeah.
But yeah, it was better than a pretty good mum, obviously, amazing.
Yeah.
Mum. But like
just
beating herself up and then
she's very harsh on herself, I think.
Oh yeah, she's a harsh
and she always does such an amazing job.
Yeah, that's exactly
she's
right.
an incredible mum.
Yeah, she's all over it. That's what it was. That's what I meant at the start. It was really hard to understand where all that was coming from. Because I was like, what you're doing everything great. Like, like the staff are telling you how good you are. We're always there. You're doing heaps. You're expressing plenty of milk. You're doing everything spot on. You can't do any more. And she's like, oh, they would say that to all the mums. I bet you say that to all the pretty girls. But yeah, and I couldn't rationalize that. So once things really started going more positively, for Micah, it just became a little bit more natural for us.
Yeah.
And I suppose by that time we'd settled into the Ronald McDonald House, and it wasn't such a scary place to be, and everything started sort of feeling a little bit normal.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it got a little bit too normal, because then one day we had to leave, and that was the biggest, scariest thing ever. We're like, what do you mean we have to look after a kid without a team of professionals guiding us? Which is real scary.
Yeah.
So how was it taking him home?
Yeah, I was going to say, as a first-time dad, like I said, I had barely held many babies for like a photo here or there. I'd never changed a nappy, never really been around any of it. I was like all acting real brave, like called a family meeting in the hospital because we wanted to go home, and it felt like things were getting dragged out. And they said, no, we can't let you go until this and this happens. So, okay, cool. But I'm like, yeah, we're fine. We're going to take our kid home. And then when it was time, when we got him down into the car, I was like,
are we ready?
Holy shit. Yeah. So it was good because Dad lived in a town not too far away, just down the road. So we drove there, which was only 3 hours, but I think it took like 5 or 6 hours. Because every time he made a squeak, we were like reeling over the side of the highway. What's he doing? Freaking out. And we had to learn. We took him home on oxygen, so we had to learn how all that worked.
Yeah.
Which wasn't overly complex, but just like tape. The bottle itself and the regulator wasn't overly complex, but then just having, like, you couldn't just grab your kid out of the car to change his nappy. You had to make sure you had enough hose that it could reach to where you're trying to put him, and so it was just a little added difficulty.
Yeah.
And a level of stress. And then I think he fell asleep in the car. I think Casey ended up climbing through the car. Yep. Like center console to like probably just watch him like this. Yeah. The whole drive. But yeah, we drove to Dad's place and then stayed there one night.
Yep.
Was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first night we'd never had him out of hospital, and then we're at a house that we're comfortable there. Like we stayed there heaps, obviously, but it wasn't our house. So and then he's crying, and we ended up both of us ended up all night. We didn't think to do the one person sleep while the other one soothes the baby or anything. We just did both of us in a complete state of panic the whole first night. What are you yelling at me for? I don't know why he's crying. Why are you yelling at me? And I was like, I don't know, babies cry. Shit, like. And then Dad and Di woke up the next morning. They're like, "How was your night?" And we're like, "Who do you think it was?" And they're like, "We could hear everything." Like, and then they said, "Go for a nap. And we'll watch him."
Yep.
They're both amazing with kids. They're both like pretty gentle with the little ones and all that. So it was fine. We went and had a lay down. I don't think there was any quality of sleep because we were both just still in panic. Yeah. And then we got up. And we were like, "Oh, we're going to go home." And they were like, "That's a shit idea. You're just going to stay another night, all right? And we're going to stay up with him.
Yep.
So you can sleep, and then you'll be safe for the who's going that way to their place." Made it rather than sort of going straight home. It added a couple of hours on, but it meant that we had a shorter stint each day.
Yep.
So like you're not doing a 3-hour drive home like with your newborn baby after the last 5 months years have just had without any sleep. So we're like, that's probably a fair point.
Yep.
So we just sort of hung out, got dinner, and they let us go to bed. I think they might have had him the whole night almost. And he probably screamed the house down again because why would you sleep at night time when you can sleep at daytime? Yeah, and then we got up the next morning and chucked him in the car and got home, which was crazy. Like, and something I didn't think of was that Casey hadn't been home for over 5 months. Mm-hmm. So she pulled up and heard the dogs yapping, like excited. And as far as the dogs knew, they were just seeing me.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she opened the door and they were like yapping, and then they went real hysterical, like carrying on, like because we're like they're one medium and sort of one big dog, so they're carrying on a bit. So I just stood by the car with Micah while Casey went in, so they get that excited bit of shit out of their system because we didn't want to take a oxygen bottle and hoses and stuff. Well, there's 2 excited dogs around, and so that was nice. I think it was a big thing for her to be home, obviously after not being home for. Pretty sure it was over 5 months.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I think she was worried the dogs had forgotten her or something, but they didn't. They still loved her. Yeah, and then we were home. And we were fortunate enough to have some really good friends.
Yep.
Looked after some little details for us, like mowing the lawn. And
oh, lovely.
I think, well, the next morning, so we got home. Micah didn't sleep all night again. And we had a coffee machine, and it broke.
Oh, no.
The first morning we were home, it turned on and didn't do anything. I was like, oh, it was cool. At 4 a.m. And we're both coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
So need it to get going. Like that's the on button. Yep. And we're like, oh. No. So she texts one of her mates. Oh, I wouldn't like snap. I think it was a Snapchat. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Like we have this crying baby now.
Yeah,
and
of course.
the coffee machine broke. The first morning at home. So she just turned up with some coffee, instant coffee, and maybe even instant and some actual coffees for us or something like that. So yeah, we were fortunate.
Nice.
Getting home was really nice. Yeah. And then I suppose the real challenge probably started because then you don't have the professional help, and we're still trying to manage a bit of the P&D and self-blame and everything we've been through. And then it probably gets worse with the sleepless nights again. You start not thinking clearly and not looking after yourself the best and all that. So we got through it though, I guess.
Yeah.
Pam again, the gem of a mother-in-law, came out heaps.
Lovely.
I think nearly every weekend for a while there, which is at least a couple of hour drive for her, one way.
So good.
Yeah, she would just knock off work straight out to us. Looking back, her own son and husband probably felt a bit left behind, but surely they got it. Surely they understand.
They understood for sure.
Yeah,
and that was it. The real, I'd nearly say normal parenting journey started there.
Yeah. Because Casey spoke about that time where, you're home, but you also were so conscious about him getting sick and who could come over.
Oh, it was horrible, yeah.
Like it's almost like being isolated a second time, like you've been at this other hospital away from everybody. Yeah. And then even when you've come home, you're still essentially isolated to a degree.
Yeah, well, it was in a lot of ways more isolating because like our friends, as beautiful as they are, we couldn't do anything with them for a bit. Like their kids go to school and daycare and stuff, and
all the bugs and
they're
germs
like lovely, clean people, but there is people out there who aren't
Mm-hmm.
considerate of others and send their kids to
Yep.
school
Yeah. Sick.
coughing and spluttering. And
Yep.
yeah, so it was super isolating for probably the first 6 months. We didn't do much.
Yep.
I think I started riding again with my mates, like motorbikes, just trail riding and stuff.
Yep.
But it was like we used to joke about, like, oh, we can't kiss anymore, dude. Like, we got to keep our helmets on. Like, so it was almost a bit unfair because I had that, and then Casey didn't really have a,
Yeah.
like,
Her
An
own
outlet
sort
type
of
thing.
yeah, she didn't really
outlet.
have an outlet.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she'd be sick of me banging on about it. I'm always like, you got to get a hobby. You got to do something. Like,
Yeah.
which I would assume a lot of mums probably struggle with that because it's the typical story. Dads get, we got like our nice lawns and golf and motorbikes. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I feel
swear.
like boys always have hobbies and girls
Yeah.
never have hobbies.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I can't give you hobbies. You just need to go get them.
I know.
Like, I'm not knocking anyone. You just need to go get some hobbies. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but then maybe like on the other flip side would be maybe her hobbies is just hanging out with her mates low key,
Yeah.
chilling and
going for coffee or
Yeah.
And
lunch
things like
or
that.
flapping gums and
Yeah.
telling stories. And,
Yeah.
she'll shoot me when she's like,
Yep. Yep.
nah, but if that's their like hobby, then cool.
Yeah.
If that's the outlet, that's the
Yeah,
outlet.
yeah. So once we started sort of feeling like we could control the risk, like,
Yeah.
which sounds ridiculous to say, but it was really hard to find the balance between not
Yeah.
being complacent and not
Absolutely.
imprisoning yourself in your own
Yeah.
house, which was tough.
Yeah.
I still had work, but that was still isolating because I wouldn't go into like the smoker room with anyone. I would just work and sort of see them from afar. And
Yep.
if I had to go to a pre-start meeting, I'd sort of stay off to the side because some Joe Blogs over there would be coughing a lung up for sure. And I don't even want to be in the same room as that.
Yeah.
I'm sort of lingering near the door. So people started thinking I was weird, but whatever.
This is me being a protective dad.
Yeah, the guys that knew, because this is the same work I was doing that I was travelling backwards and forwards to. So a lot of the
Yep.
guys knew. They
Yep.
were really good about it.
Yep.
I was very fortunate in that regard. They were really, really good about it. And most of them would check in all the time.
Yeah.
Some of them would message on Facebook, hey, man, haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Hope everything's well. I'm like, yeah, man, your roster and when I'm back hasn't crossed over. Oh, cool. Like,
Yep.
quick little check-in, which meant a lot. Like, people just it made you feel not so crazy for being so affected by it because
Yeah.
it was a heavy enough situation that people you barely knew were checking in on you. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say barely knew, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
It just shows like the importance of checking in on people who, are in this type of situation.
Oh,
It's
100%.
super important.
it costs you
like,
nothing to be a nice guy.
Exactly.
Like, just try and be there for your neighbour and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, which was
Yep.
good, but yeah, it was really, like I said, back to the isolating bit. It was like I didn't go and have smoker in the smoker room with everyone else at
Yep.
that time. I would just go and sit in my car
Yep.
and eat
Yeah.
and then get back to work.
back to
Like
work,
there was
yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
else I could really do. Like it's fine. It didn't actually bother me too much because it was quite peaceful. Like and then at that point, I think I learned to be comfortable. Well, that was probably the end of it. All that driving backwards and forwards. Just learned to be comfortable on my own.
Yep.
Just thinking about things. A lot
Yep.
of time to process stuff.
Yep.
Oh yeah, well that
Yep.
happened, but that sucked. But now we got a kid at home and he's pretty
Yeah.
cool and he's
Yeah.
getting fat. And
He's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, at that
Yeah.
point you wouldn't think it now because he's built like a stick of spaghetti. But when he was little, he was pretty chubby.
Oh.
For what he is now, he was tiny still.
Yep.
But yeah, so it was all. And now we just sort of.
Yeah.
I suppose we managed to put a lot of the negative parts of it to bed, and we talk about the good stuff.
Yep.
Which is always important to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But one thing I would touch on that was weird for us was in the first probably 12 months of us getting home, we really struggled with this thing where every time, every week that went on, nearly losing him felt bigger because we'd had that period of time with him. And then we used to have conversations like, well, this would have never happened if we would have lost him back then.
Yeah.
And it was like torture. And then it was, I don't know why it kept coming up. Probably because we were both depressed and whatever. But it was the strangest emotional battle until one of us said, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Because so you have another week with him and all these beautiful things happen. But instead of being happy about that, you were like, oh, well, if we would have lost him, we wouldn't have got that experience.
And so then you've got a negative.
So then the loss actually kept getting bigger.
Yeah.
The loss kept
Yeah.
growing and it became this massive thing. Massive in our house. Every time we did something good, we'd almost smile and then cry. It
Yeah.
was really really strange.
Mm.
Well, strange is probably the right word, but maybe it is. But
Yeah.
and then I don't know what really happened. We got to like his first birthday, and I think we had a couple of we called them mum and dad nights where we knew the consequence was terrible, but like I'd have a bad week at work. Well, not bad, just a stressful week at work. We started having mum and dad nights where we would just stay up and have a few drinks and talk shit. Like we had a little party, just the two of us at home, really.
I love that.
We'd get Micah to bed, and then we'd have our little mum and dad night, and then we'd just
Yep.
suffer for like 3 days. 'Cause we would stay up
Yep.
till all hours of the night, and then it feels like you just shut your eyes when you go to bed, and then he's crying, and we're like, oh, we got to get up. And we're in this one together, so we have to
Yep.
help.
Yep.
But it was like we started doing stuff like that, and we were like, we need to let go of this whole
Yeah.
Yep. Because we didn't lose him.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, we nearly did, and it was absolutely fucking horrible, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know, at some point around his first birthday, we sort of learned to let that one go and just
Good.
enjoy it. But the
Good.
level of stress, I think, just kind of broke our brains a bit, like a dried out twig. So then you couldn't really control it. It was like a whitewash of emotions, and you just
Yeah.
like, it was really strange because you'd be in a happy moment, everything was good, and then we're both not.
Yeah.
So I guess you go through it a lot.
Yeah.
Being in NICU is a traumatic experience.
Yeah, it was
So you guys were just,
yeah, it was a lot. It was huge. Any parents that go through it, I like. Yeah, and there was parents that had a smoother road than us, and there was obviously parents that had it all the way to the other end of the spectrum. They had it as bad as it could go.
Yeah.
We were there for some of that.
Yeah.
Not that it involved us at all, but it was like
You can tell. Like
Yeah.
when
really
you're in the
hard.
NICU,
So,
you can tell.
yeah, you're in the you're right there. Your neighbour
Yeah.
is there, and then the
Yeah.
next day they're not,
Yeah.
and yet you see them packing their stuff up at Ronald McDonald House. So like it was
Yeah.
really raw.
Yeah.
Like, and you just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
holy shit. And
Yeah.
then you get home, and I guess because you've seen that, when you're at home, you're trying to enjoy your baby, and I think there might even be a bit of like survivor's guilt in it because we got to take our kid home.
Yeah.
So then that hung on for a bit.
Yeah.
There was a lot more lingering effects than we probably thought there was going to be.
Yep.
Like what's Micah, 2.5 now?
Yep.
I really only started doing full-time work again in the last 6 months. So it took me 2 years before I got back to full-time work.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, like a lot earlier, but I just would like mentally just break. Like
Yeah.
I'd book in more work, and then I'd get to the third day or something, and I would just be a basket case. I physically couldn't do my job. So I was like, I need to can it. And then I was stitching myself up a lot worse because then I'd push that work to next week.
Yeah.
And then the work I already had booked in for that week on top
Would
of the work
be-
I didn't do
Yeah.
was terrible.
Yeah.
Not to make it about my work at all, but just the mental load was,
Yeah.
I just
Massively.
couldn't sustain. Like I said, I used to take so many phone calls a day and,
Yep.
and run a few people. Like, so it felt like, I suppose at times sort of felt like a failure for not being able to sustain what I used to. Because we didn't have any staff on anymore. That all got finished up
Yeah.
at the start. That was sort of how we afforded to get through. We sold the extra vehicles and stuff out of the business, and that was financially how we survived.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I guess it was like the reality of like battling with that whole survivor's guilt, learning how not to put that sad spin on every time Micah did something
Yeah.
good, like
Yeah.
which was seems ridiculous even now talking about it, but it was a very strange one. Like we battled with that for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then not feeling like, for the dads out there, like feeling like a failure of a provider because you haven't hit your financial goals.
Yeah.
Like it was like I completely forgot that we'd been through 5 months of almost no work, so everything was drained, and then come home and we can't just go on holidays like we used to. And I'm like, we just want to go do stuff,
Yeah.
but we couldn't.
Yeah.
So that got real hard as well. But yeah, and then we just had our mum and dad nights, talked things out,
Yeah.
told each other we're not failures, we're doing a pretty
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
We lent on each other a lot.
Yeah.
It was good, really. It made us a lot stronger, I think. For what it was, I would never select that option. Like
Yeah.
if I could
If
tick
you had
that
an
box,
option.
I'm not ticking that box.
If,
but to
if
come
we're
out the other
doing-
end of it, we
yeah.
came out the other end of it a lot stronger.
Stronger. Yeah.
Close with my mother-in-law, like I said earlier.
Yeah. And that's so special.
It is.
Yeah. There's always positivity about what comes out of some really hard, dark times. I
Yeah,
think.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is what we've learned to focus on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like this podcast will be the first time I've ever talked about it, probably this openly.
Yeah.
But because you kind of bury the hatchet and get on with life.
Absolutely. We do. We compartmentalize everything. And when things
massively.
are so traumatic, but you've still got a life to be looking after, you've still got a child to look after.
Yeah.
You just say, okay, yep, that's all in the past. This is what we're focusing on now, you know?
Yeah,
And you just
100%.
have to just
And
move on. Yeah.
one of the other things that helped us was the couple of times we came back and visited NICU
Yeah.
and we saw the staff, and
Yeah.
like a couple of the staff said, "Oh, you've brought Micah back to stress us out some more." And we were like, "Oh," like, and at that point you got a little bit more mental clarity. And I sort of said, "Oh, was he really that bad?" I don't remember who it was. One of the nurses. Like, yeah, he was shocking. Like, I was like, "Oh, so we're not like
we're not crazy.
we're not,
for
yeah, we haven't
thinking
made it
this.
up in our head.
Yeah.
Like we aren't
Yep.
like, I don't know, make you know, go and make believe with a
Yep.
massive suffering." And they're like, "No, he was horrible."
In the,
I was like,
in the
"Oh."
nicest way.
No, she was like, "I'm sorry, he's beautiful now. Look at him go." And I think he was almost walking at this point, so he's like waddling and sort
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
then crawling a bit and then getting up and waddling again. And she's like, "He's excellent now, amazing, like happy
Yeah.
for you, but he was horrible." I was like, "Oh, thank you for telling me that, because I thought I was just caught up in my own shit." Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like
Um,
you were validated. in
Yeah.
The
100%,
feelings
yeah, that's the
were
word I was looking
correct.
for.
Yeah.
Like 100% validated in
Yeah.
the fact that he was horrible.
Yeah.
Through that period, and that period of time was absolutely horrible for us.
Any other parent would have been like horrified, and you're like, that made me feel so much
Yeah,
better.
yeah, I was like, "Say it again." Kept asking the same question. "Tell me again."
Yeah.
Write on a postcard, please. But
Yeah.
no, it was good. So those couple times we came back, and it were very informal. Like we came in the
Yeah.
front door, said hi to the
Yeah.
receptionist,
Yep.
whoever was on, which was nice. And we came back. I
Mm.
think we came back twice, so we
Yeah.
got to see
Twice,
almost
yeah.
everyone that
Yep.
worked on him or with him or with us.
Yep. And we all get so excited seeing him, you know, like
yeah, he's a
comes
cool little
in
dude
and-
now, so he's fun.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about Micah now as well. Like,
Yeah.
tell everybody what's
He's
he
just a
doing.
boy. Like I don't. He's like he's not.
Just a cool
He seems
dude.
quite bright. Yeah, he's cool. He's really kind and gentle with other kids, and he's 2.5 and he's already using his manners. So all of that we're really proud of. He goes to daycare twice a week, to a little private home daycare, so that, and
Love.
we explained that he still can't get sick. His lungs still aren't great.
Mm.
So she's excellent with that. She was already super strict on all the
Good.
other kids with sickness anyway, because she said,
Good.
"I can't get sick, like,
Yeah.
because then I can't work." And then all
Yeah.
these other kids have no, whereas maybe a larger scale daycare wouldn't be like that. But I can't
Yeah.
say that because
Yeah.
I've never been to or been around one. But
Yep.
and it's been awesome. Probably putting him in daycare, he's come right out of his shell.
Mm.
But he's not. He's an asshole to mum and dad.
but
But when we watch him interact with the rest of the world, he's a really pleasant, like happy, playful little dude. So it's really
Yeah.
cool to see for
Yeah.
us. So obviously he got all of those good qualities from me. Nah. And his temper from mum.
Shout out to Casey for the red hair.
Yeah, that's the red hair. But he's not even a redhead anymore. So I don't know.
Exactly, he's a blondie.
Yeah, for those that don't know, he came out bright red hair, like his mum, torch red hair, and now he's blonde as he's like a little snowflake.
Yeah.
No, obviously Casey I've been back to work, so she's puts like an amazing amount of effort into him, and like all of the being pleasant to other kids and good manners and stuff is probably, I'm pretty sure I just taught him to say fuck by accident. So that's what he actually got from me. But no, he's good. He's a really
gonna go
fun
around
kid now.
the playground now and being like, I've got a word I can teach you.
He does. Well, he doesn't say it properly yet. He says uck. So I'm always like, "Oh, I think he wants his truck." And Casey's like, "You're an idiot." Like everyone knows what he's saying. I go, "No, yeah, he just wants his truck." And I won't give in either. I just keep the act up. Like, until he
He's sitting
said,
here
yeah.
I didn't teach him this.
Because he hasn't worked out how to say the F sound or M yet, so he calls himself biker,
Biker boy.
which is fine because he loves motorbikes as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so everything's biker. So yeah, the F and the M he hasn't got yet, so he isn't fully swearing, but I'm pretty sure he learned that off me, which is all right.
And you're proud as.
Yeah, he's all right. There's far. We've been through hospital, man. There's far worse things
Oh,
a kid
yeah.
can do than swear.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we just laugh about it.
Yeah.
No, in general, he's happy as. He's happy go lucky.
Yep.
Unless he's hungry.
Yeah. Me too.
loves-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't everyone
exactly.
cranky when they're hungry? Yeah.
Exactly. We bought him a little quad. It's the exact same model that I had when I was a kid.
Oh.
I got a bit nostalgic when I saw one in town where we live, and I went and asked the bloke, "What are you doing with that?" And he goes, "Oh, I'll sell it when I'm done." So I gave him a number, and to his credit, like 2 years later, this is before we were even pregnant with Micah. I just saw it and I was like, "I want that because we'll probably have a kid one day, and I want to have the same one I had."
Yeah.
I don't know why.
2 years
Yeah,
later.
and 2 years later, roughly, he sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, Mick, remember me? My kids are done with that little quad now. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come pick it up this half." Went and got it.
Wow.
I
Has he-
hustled him. He knocked $100 off the price. He's like, "Dude, I haven't even like I told you. You said you were going to come by it." And I was like, "Yeah, bloke's got to try, but." I asked for $200 off, and he gave me $100 off. And I said I nearly felt bad and gave him full price. But
Thanks for
we
remembering.
laughed. I said, "Oh, bloke's got to try." Hey? And he laughed as well. He's like, "Yeah, man, whatever." It's like a 30-year-old little Suzuki quad, but
That's so cool.
so almost every day I have to take him Micah for laps around that. We have ruts at both ends of our yard. Like we have a little town block, little 800 square meter block.
Yeah.
And there's ruts at both ends from where we turn around. So all just he's like, calls it a boat. He's like, "Go on my bow bike. And I'm like, "All right, mate."
Aw.
So we started up, put his helmet on him, do laps. I'm trying to get him to ride it on his own, but he won't. But apart from that, if I start my bikes, he loves revving the hell out of them. In the
Mhm.
shed, he thinks it's great. Casey's got some videos of it. Yeah, I'm always in the shed.
Mhm.
We've got a little gym set up there and the bikes. So most days he's out there with me. I'm trying to do a workout. He's usually distracting me doing something silly, playing with the dogs, or I don't know, throwing rocks at me, or just real
Work
boyish
harder.
stuff. Yeah, that's honestly, yeah. It's happened a couple of times. I'm halfway through doing something and I'm hit by a rock. I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" Far out. I'm trying to be intimidating
lift
so I can scare
heavier.
all of your friends. Like, don't ruin this for me. But no, he's just a real boyish
Yep.
boy now. So it's been a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot of fun because I'm the
Yeah.
oldest of 3 boys.
Yep.
So oddly enough, when we were pregnant, we hadn't found out. I was really scared of having a girl. No offense, but I was like, I don't know what to do with a girl. Like I'm
Yeah,
the oldest
yeah,
of 3
yeah.
boys.
Yep.
I was scared of girls my whole life. Like, what am I
Except
going
for
to do?
Casey.
I was
No,
actually,
no.
I'm
He's
still
scared of
actually
her.
most scared of her. All you other girls aren't scary anymore. Just my wife. No. Yeah, she knows how
Way
to
to
keep,
be.
she knows how to keep us moving. But it was a big, and then it was when we went to MFM for those first scans when they saw there's this hole in his heart, and then we were both real upset. Obviously, the road to get to that point had been horrible, and we thought it was going to be smooth sailing, and then we thought, oh, we'll find out what we're having then, because we want to know who this is if something keeps going wrong, because at that point our track record wasn't great. So we thought, oh, we'll find out, and then we know maybe we could give them a name, and if things don't go well, they're a person and not just a it kind of thing.
Yeah.
It didn't go that way though, so that's good. Got close enough a couple times, but it didn't. So yeah, we had Micah, and he's a little weapon.
How did you guys come up with the name Micah?
We had a list. Casey likes lists. So we had a list of names.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she loves lists. She's know her well now. She's as over-organised as a person can be. But it was good. We had a list of boys' names. There was all sorts of names on there, like, I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head now, but it was really long. And then Micah was a name on that list. And then I said, well, we couldn't trim it down anymore. It was ridiculous. I was like, we're not going to have 20 boys. We need to trim this list down a bit because we can't use all these names.
Yeah.
So we started going through and like looking up the meanings of them and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of them got cut off then because they didn't have meanings that struck a chord. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone's name, but they didn't strike a chord with us. So like, oh, that one's gone, or we really like that one.
Yep.
And we got down to Micah, and it's actually my name. My name's Michele, not Mick, which is like Italian for Michael. It's just my name, but in Hebrew. And we really liked it for whatever reason. Like, and then it's out of the Old Testament. Neither of us are particularly religious at all, but I grew up like in a Catholic family, so I guess the biblical touch felt nice. It's got a nice meaning. It's my name in another language. So I was like, oh, and we were just like, oh,
me.
that's, yeah. And we were like, oh, well, that's sort of,
Mini
Yes,
me.
a little
yeah,
mini you.
it just felt
Yeah.
nice. So
Do you
we did
remember
that.
what Micah means?
No.
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 We can look it up.
No, I think mine, it might have the same meaning as my name, which is, I think it's to be like God or something like that. It sounds pretty high and mighty for a normal old mechanic, but I don't think that of myself. No one think I'm getting all high and mighty there. I don't want to offend anyone who is quite religious or anything. But I suppose it's nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. And
Perfect
then-
name for a perfect boy.
Yeah, and his middle name's Antonio, which is my dad's Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And his initials are Mad, which suits.
So cool.
100%.
Yeah.
I never even knew that.
Yeah, he's an angry little shit. His initials are Mad. Yeah.
But that's
There
so
you
cool.
go.
That's like the best initials ever. His
100%.
personalized number plate is going to be
Yeah, we already
awesome.
bought it for him.
Did you?
Yeah, we got Mad 904 or 904 Mad.
904, because that's how much he was.
Yeah, and my race
when he
number my
was
whole
born.
life from dirt bikes has been, not to tie this back to dirt bikes at all, but my race number's been 902 my whole life.
That's so
And then he was born at
cool.
904 grams, and I remember making the joke. I was like, oh, that's his race number then. It was very, very much in passing. That's not a priority at that point. But then when we got home, we were like, oh, I wonder if that personalised plate's available, and then we bought it for him. So he's got 904.
Oh my God, that's the
Mad.
best.
So like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then Casey's like, oh, we have to have another kid now, and it can be number 903 if we all go racing.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, it all worked out.
That's amazing. I
Really
love
nice
that you've
in here.
already got that. That's
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah, have you tried buying personalised plate? They're running out of combos real quick.
Oh,
so when we thought
100%.
of it, we were like, oh, we better
Get it.
Yeah, we just got it because they're not just that basic combo is not expensive. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank
So,
you
yeah.
so much for coming on the podcast and chatting to us.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's
Yeah.
been good.
Mm.
I suppose. We went through some stuff I haven't really brought up for a while, but
Yeah.
maybe if any other dads or mums as well, anyone listens, then it's helpful.
We've
Yeah.
actually had
That's
a
the
lot
main
of
thing.
dads say that they really wanted to hear what it's like from a dad's perspective of someone who's gone through it and then now at the other side.
Yeah, well,
Um,
it's a lot. You just feel
Yeah.
helpless all the time. But you,
Mm,
yeah, and then it gets better. That's all I can say. It gets better.
yeah.
Yeah, you come out the other side of it, and then you have your kid at home, and you're doing all normal family stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
every parent out there is stressed as shit, anyways. So
Yeah.
having a stressful start feels like a horrible thing, but I think they're all stressed anyway.
Yeah.
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 So it's pretty normal.
Yeah. Everyone taking a baby home scared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
you know what you're doing. You got no idea what you're doing. No
Just
idea.
making it up as you go along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It ends up being an advantage because you get taught how to change a nappy and give a bottle and all that by professionals.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you go home, and I think I might know a little bit more than some of my mates in those areas. I'm like,
Yep.
oh yeah, well this is how I got shown to do it.
Yep.
Bottle a baby, and
Done.
yeah, you get taught. So it's
Yeah.
like going
Yep.
to school.
Yep.
But-
Parenting school.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a lot. So if anyone out there's dealing with it, I feel for 'em
Yeah.
massively.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate you coming on and being so raw and open and honest with us with
Yeah,
some
no.
really deep personal stuff, you know? Like we really,
it's all
really
right.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Hope I didn't get
Yeah.
too wishy-washy with it.
You're
But,
great.
a little bit of here and there in the stories, but we got there.
Oh, well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.